Hello and welcome back to Kim Reads as we continue with Oliver Twist. Chapter 2, Learning a Trade. Mr. Bumble spanked Oliver every day with his cane. The poor boy couldn't wait to get away from the workhouse. One day, Mr. Gamfield, a chimney sweep, was walking by the workhouse. He saw the sign on the wall. "I could teach this boy how to be a chimney sweep," he told Mr. Limkins. "That's a nasty job," Mr. Limkins replied. "Young boys can smother in chimneys." "You won't let me have him, then? I'll give him to you for £3. It's a good deal. You won't have to spend too much time to take care of the boy. He's never had too much to eat. And if he gives you any trouble, spank him." Mr. Bumble asked the judge to sign papers transferring Oliver to Mr. Gamfield. "You're going to be an apprentice, Oliver," Mr. Bumble explained. "What's that, sir?" "Mr. Gamfield is going to teach you how a trade and make a man out of you." Suddenly, the judge saw a look of great fear on Oliver's face and tears in his eyes. "What's the matter?" asked the judge. Oliver got down on his knees, sobbing bitterly. He begged the judge not to give him to such a mean man as Mr. Gamfield. Okay, I'm sure he is mean, but this part, when I first read this, confused me a little bit, because this little section is all you see, but I guess he was, somewhere was mean. Okay. The judge tore up the papers and ordered Mr. Bumble to return Oliver to the workhouse and to treat him better. Mr. Sowerberry, the undertaker, was the next man to read the sign on the workhouse wall. "I can use somebody to help me in my business of burying dead people," he thought. So Mr. Sowerberry was called upon Mr. Bumble. "Would you like to have the boy?" asked Mr. Bumble. "For £5 he's yours." Oliver gathered up his belongings, which were so few in number that they all fitted into one small bag. Then he went to Mr. Bumble to the undertaker's house. He cried all the way there. "What's wrong with you?" snapped Mr. Bumble. "You should be glad that the undertaker is giving you a home." "I'm sorry, sir," mumbled Oliver, "but I'm so lonely. Nobody likes me. Please don't be mean to me." Mrs. Sowerberry, a short, plump woman with a wrinkled face, opened the door. "He's so small," she said, looking at Oliver. "He looks like a bag of bones." The undertaker's wife took Oliver into the cold little kitchen. "Charlotte," she ordered the maid, "give this boy some of the cold meat that was put out for the dog." Anyone who could have seen the half-starved boy clutched at the strips of leftover meat would have been horrified. When Oliver had finished, Mrs. Sowerberry came for him. "Come to your bed," she said. "It's under the counter among the coffins. Hurry along." Oliver's room was even more lonely and frightening than the one he was at the workhouse. All around him were coffins waiting for dead bodies to fill them. There were also wooden boards to build more coffins. Oliver slept on a hard mattress. The room was very dark and hot. In the morning, someone kicked at the door. "Do you need a coffin, sir?" Oliver asked. "Shut up," said the young man as he entered. "I'm Noah Claypool, and you'll be working under me." Noah was a charity boy, but not a workhouse orphan. He knew who his parents were, but they were too poor to take care of him. Mr. Sowerberry showed Oliver what undertakers do. One day they went to the house of a woman who had just died. Her husband and children stood crying over the body. Mr. Sowerberry brought a coffin, and he and Noah carried the body to the churchyard and buried it. They asked Oliver if he would like to be an undertaker. "No," said the boy firmly. "Well, you'll get used to it," said Mr. Sowerberry. "You'll have to." Oliver was treated badly by Mrs. Sowerberry and Charlotte, but especially by Noah. One day, Noah insulted Oliver's dead mother. The little boy, who looked too weak to swat a fly, grabbed Noah by the throat and shook him violently. Then he hurled him to the ground with a fierce blow. "Oliver's going to kill me!" cried Noah. "Help me, Charlotte! Help me, Mrs. Sowerberry! Get him off me!" The two women dragged Oliver into the cold, dark cell and locked him there. "Go get Mr. Bumble," Mrs. Sowerberry told Noah. "Tell him what Oliver did." Mr. Bumble cried Noah upon reaching the workhouse. Come quickly, Oliver. Ran away? Asked Mr. Bumble. No, sir, but he tried to kill me. I knew that boy would come to no good. No one called my mother bad names, Oliver explained to Mr. Bumble when he reached the Undertaker's house. She deserved it, said Noah. That's a lie, snapped the boy. Mr. Sourberry spanked Oliver and shut him in his room with nothing but a stale piece of bread. When the boy was alone, he let the tears fall. Later, in the middle of the night, he slipped softly out of the house forever. Okay, that's the end of that chapter. Thanks for listening.